In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Eric Gordon and how he shoots the basketball. He has a pretty good shot, so let's get down, let's check him out, and see if we can incorporate any of his tactics into our game. Okay, so in this first clip, what we are looking at is Eric Gordon going up for his shot. First off, I want to point out the fact that he is looking at the rim. And it's unclear if he's obviously aiming for a certain area of the rim. Everyone has something different that they aim for. I just personally aim for the entire rim myself, and I aim for the feel. However, his shoulders are over top of his knees as well as pretty well over top of his toes. This creates a 90-degree angle at your hips as well as at your knees, and when that is the case, you're going to be extremely balanced, which means that he is going to be able to go straight up into his shot, and if he was hit on the side, let's say there was a close defender, he's not going to be able to topple over, which is fantastic. We can see that his shoulders are pretty well also squared up towards the rim, as well as his hips, and of course his knees, with his right knee being slightly ahead of his left so that he can get his right side in line. When he raises that ball up into his set point, we can see that there is not much elbow movement to go up into that shot. You really want to cut down on any extra movements that you may have. We can also see that he is up on his toes as well, which engages his calf and Achilles, his Achilles being what gives him the speed to get up into the air, while his calves are what gives him the power to get up even higher. We can see that he has a really good energy transfer as well. He starts with his hips and his lower back, and then that translates into his knees extending, and look at that, perfectly straight up and down. However, when he starts to go up for his actual shot, we can see that his right shoulder is slightly ahead of his left, and that is going to be absolutely normal so that you can get your elbow and your shoulder in line with the rim. We can also see that he essentially has a two-motion shot where it tends to stop at his set point. He has a 90-degree angle on his elbow, which will create a faster release in most cases. And we can see that his hand placement is absolutely perfect, where his left hand, his offhand, is at the top quarter of the ball. You don't want to be too far behind. That's going to push the ball usually out towards the right side, and you don't want to have your hand underneath the ball because then there's no stability to hold that ball there if your arms were to get hit. So you generally want to have your hand pretty close to the top corner, I would say top quarter left side of the front of the ball, which is generally where that is. We can also see a little bit of his palm as well, so he has a little bit of palm space between his palm and the ball on his shooting side or shooting hand. When he goes up to release his shot, we can see that he has absolutely zero thumb flick right there. And then we can see that he has a soft release, which will give him generally more arc on that ball, and he has a good amount of spin and rotation on that ball as well. You generally want to have 2.5+ rotations on that ball so that it will be able to hit that rim nice and softly. He's even able to transition, getting that ball super low up into his set point by grabbing that ball or picking that ball up with his left hand, and he doesn't reach across his body with his right hand. He brings that ball with his left hand to his right hand at his gather, which will allow him to go up the right side of his body as we see here. And the reason why he does have that little bit of tilt is because his elbow does flare. He has a really strong upper body, so generally speaking, players with stronger upper bodies, the bigger backs, they will generally tilt usually a little bit more because it's very hard for their elbow to get in line being right in front of them. We can also see that he releases with his elbow above his forehead, which will give him again more arc as well. And then from this angle, we can see at least on set shots, he has a little bit of a dip. So here he's picking that ball up with his right hand. He brings it up to his waist, and then his dip is essentially his knees, but it's such a minor dip that I wouldn't even call it a dip, to be honest with you. It's literally right there. And when he goes up for his shot, he's actually bending his knees while he's bringing that ball up into his set point. Now, for some players, they can't do this because it's basically too much, I guess you could call it multitasking in a way. However, that's not really the correct term for this. It's actually really good energy transfer, and it creates a much faster shot for you, especially if you have a defender on you who's about to block your shot. We can also see from this angle that he doesn't exactly jump forward all that much. Some players will have a lot of leg sway and their upper body stays in the same spot. He has a little bit of leg sway, but only by about maybe 2 or 3 inches. It's not really all that much. You generally don't want your whole body to move forward or sideways because that will mess up your shot. If you find that you're very inconsistent on how far you need to push that ball, record yourself and see if you're really jumping forward all that much. Because if you are jumping forward and that's why you just can't get down how much power you need to shoot for that shot, then if you can cut down how far you're jumping forward, at that point it's essentially the same shot over and over again, which is why I say you should shoot by feel, not by aiming for something. I hope that this breakdown actually helps you be able to shoot the basketball better. Some of these tactics can be incorporated into your shot so that you can shoot the basketball even better. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.